सुनादवेणुहस्तकं अनङ्गरङ्गसागरं नमामि कृष्णनागरं मनोजगर्वमोचनं विशाललोललोचनं विभूतगोपशोचनं नमामि पद्मलोचनं करारविन्दभूधरं करारविन्दभूधरं स्मितावलोकसुन्दरं महेन्द्रमानदारणं नमामि कृष्णवारणं कदम्बसूनकुण्डलं सुचारुगण्डमण्डलं व्रजाङ्गनैकवल्लभं नमामि कृष्णदुर्लभं यशोदया समोदया सगोपया सनन्दया युतं सुखैकदायकं नमामि गोपनायकं सदैव पादपङ्कजं मदीयमानसे निजं दधानमुत्तमालकं नमामि नन्दबालकं
नमामि तीर्थचोरकं
दुर्गन्तकान्तभङ्गिनं सदालसङ्गिनौ
सदा सदालसङ्गिनौ
दिने दिने नवौ नवौ
दिने दिने नवौ नवौ
नमामि नन्दसम्भवम्
नमामि नन्दसम्भवम्
गुणाकरं सुखाकरं
गुणाकरं सुखाकरं
कृपाकरं कृपापरं
कृपाकरं कृपापरं
सुरद्विषन्निकन्दनौ
सुरद्विषन्निकन्दनं
नमामि गोपनन्दनौ
नमामि गोपनन्दनं
नवीन गोपनागरं
नवीन गोपनागरं
नवीन केलिलम्पटं
नवीन केलिनं पदं
नमामि मेघसुन्दरं
नमामि मेघसुन्दरं
तडित्प्रभालसत्पटं
तडित्प्रभालसत्पटं
समस्तगोपनन्दनं
समस्तगोपनन्दनं
हृदम्बुजैकमोदनं
हृदम्बुजैकमोदनं
नमामि कुञ्जमध्यगं
नमामि कुञ्जमध्यगं
प्रसन्नभानुशोभनं
प्रसन्नभानुशोभनं
कामकामदायकं
कामकामदायकं
दृगन्तचारुसायकं
मृगन्तचारुसायकं
रसालवेणुगायकं
रसालवेणुगायकं
नमामि कुञ्जनायकं
नमामि कुञ्जनायकं
विदग्धगोपिकामनो
विदग्धगोपिकामनो
मनोज्ञतल्पशायिनौ
मनोज्ञतल्पशायिनौ
नमामि कुञ्जकानने
नमामि कुञ्जकानने
प्रवृद्धवह्निपायिनं
प्रवृद्धवह्निपायिनं
यदा तदा यथा तथा
यदा तदा यथा तथा
तथैव कृष्णसत्कथा
तथैव कृष्णसत्कथा
मया सदैव गीयता
मया सदैव गीयता
तथा कृपा विधीयता
तथा कृपा विधीयता
प्रमाणिकाष्टकद्वयं
प्रमाणिकाष्टकद्वयं
जपत्यधीत्य यः पुमान्
जपत्यधीत्य यः पुमान्
भवेत् स नन्दनन्दने
भवेत् स नन्दनन्दने
भवे भवे सुभक्तिमान्
भवे भवे सुमतिमान्
भवेत् स नन्दनन्दने
भवेत् स नन्दनन्दने
भवे भवे सुभक्तिमान् अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
पाणिर्मधुरः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीची मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपते
श्रीपदेरखिलं मधुरम्।
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु जोदायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीनी बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतई सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर है सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरना मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय।
तारकं वीरम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
Jai Shri Krishna. With respectful pranams to Param Pujya Swami Shri Govind Dev Giriji Maharaj, the founder of this Gita Pariwar and the brain behind this world-class online Gita learning platform, I would like to start today's session. We have all assembled here on this Zoom platform to attend a wonderful Vivechan session, an event for which all of us in Gita Pariwar eagerly wait week after week. This auspicious occasion, filled with positivity and the blessings of divinity showered upon all of us on the occasion, are cherished by one and all. On behalf of Gita Pariwar, myself, JVSM Lakshmi from Mumbai, I am privileged to invite you all to this evening session. So before we embark on our divine journey today, let us begin this glorious occasion with a devotional fervor by offering our prayers to Jagat Guru Shri Krishna. For today's prayer, I welcome Shri Suresh Vyasji, an MA in Philosophy and an MCA. He is an Assistant Administrative Officer in Rajasthan government and is associated with Gita Pariwar since March 2021. And he's offering Seva as technical assistant in regular classes, technical training sessions, and Vivechan Satras. Apart from this, Bhaiya is also a group coordinator and batch coordinator of different batches. Bhaiya, please start today's session with the prayer.
जय श्री कृष्ण, जय सिया राम। वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंस चाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानंदं कृष्णं वंदे जगद्गुरुं, श्री कृष्णं वंदे जगद्गुरुं। जय श्री कृष्ण।
Jai Shri Krishna Bhaiya. Thank you so much for that melodious prayer. With this inspiration and blessings of Shri Krishna, let's move to the next part of our program and brighten this auspicious occasion by lighting the ceremonial lamp. Today we have Srimati Shantala Sridharji from Chintamani, Karnataka. Didi joined Gita Pariwar in May 2021 and is presently offering Seva as technical assistant till L4 level. Didi, let's start the deep prajwalan, please.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः।
That was really captivating as the melodious musical prajvalan reverberated in the atmosphere. The aroma of devotion permeated the surroundings. More than everything, Didi's involvement in this whole activity has really purified the whole atmosphere. Thank you, Didi, for such a wonderful deep prajvalan. And before we proceed forward, let us listen to some important announcements. As you all know, Geeta Pariwar is always always filled with some activity or the other. It's always having some activity or the other, new one starting every week. And today and tomorrow is a special day where a new level 1 batch is going to be started. That is the 38th batch will be starting from tomorrow, for which the inauguration has already been done. And still the form can be filled at joingeeta.com and from the mobile. So you can pass on this information and connect your dear ones, friends, relatives, and neighbors to Geeta classes in maximum numbers. Let us encourage them to register in the language and time slot of their choice and be a part of this Mahayagna. So as tomorrow the classes are starting, today will be the last day for registration. So please take care. Similarly, let us try to help our dear ones to connect to these Vivechana sessions, which we are enjoying every week, by sharing these links to them, to all your friends and relatives who are really interested in listening to such Vivechanas. And now, let us move forward with the next part and the main part of today's session. It is indeed an inspiration when we have a distinguished and highly experienced personality like our most respected senior trainer, Shri Vikas ji Vaidya Bhaiya, amidst us to enlighten us with his deep knowledge. Vikas ji Bhaiya, a mechanical engineer with a postgraduate diploma in business management, is settled in Pune and he owns a small IT company. An eloquent speaker and a passionate teacher, Bhaiya has always drawn attention of each and every learner. Bhaiya is a master of languages and his phenomenal interest in learning new languages helped him to master many Indian and foreign languages. Sampurna Gita Parayan of all 18 Adhyayas has been Bhaiya's regular activity for the last few years. And every day. That is the speciality. It is every day, all the 18 Adhyayas. Apart from being a trainer for L1 to L4 batches, he is also involved in trainers selection and trainers training. His expertise has been instrumental in helping many Geeta Pratis to prepare for Sringeri Geeta exam. It's indeed my honor and great pleasure and privilege to request you, Bhaiya, to take over and begin the interpretation session of the second part of the 8th Adhyaya, which is Akshara Brahma Yoga. So, Vikas ji Bhaiya, please.
Jai Shri Krishna. Vasudeva Sudandevam Kausachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. पूज्य स्वामी के चरण कमल में कोटि कोटि नमन. warm welcome to all Gita Sadhak. We are discussing Adhyay 8, Akshara Brahma Yoga. Last time we had studied up to Shlok number 9. Avyam Purana Manushasitara Manoraniyam Samanusparidyah Sarvasya Dataramachinta Rupama Aditya Varnam Tamasah Parastat. In fact, this Shlok and this 10th Shlok with which we will start today are interconnected. So 10th Shlok is Pryanakale Manasachalena Bhaktya Yukto Yoga Valena Chaivo Bhur Madhye Pranamavesha Samyak Satam Param Purushmapaiti Divyam. So the 10th Shlok will take a slight view of 9th also along with it. But this 10th Shlok, if you take word to one meaning, it means the one who at the time of death, Pryanakale. Pryanakale is the death time. So one who at the time of death, through the power of yoga, established his pran between the eyebrows. What is this point that we'll discuss? Between the eyebrows and with a steadfast mind, controlled steadfast mind, full of devotion. Bhaktya yukto, full of devotion, abides in the divine remembrance. He attains the supremely glorious, magnificent, dazzling, splendid Purush. That means Paramatma. Prayanakali manasachalena bhaktya yukto yoga balena chaiva भ्रुवोर मध्ये प्राणमाविश्य सम्यक सतम परम पुरुषमुपैति दिव्यम. So as I said, Shlok 9 and 10 are interconnected. If we read the meaning of both the shlokas, it is a complete statement. It would read as follows. 9th shloka was Kavim Purana Manushasitar Manoraniyam Samanasmaridhya Sarvasadadarmachinta Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat. And this shlok we have already read. So God is omniscient, the most ancient one, the controller, subtler than the subtlest, the support of all, and the possessor of an inconceivable divine form. He is brighter than the sun and beyond all the darkness of ignorance. One who at the time of death, with unmoving mind, attained through practice of yoga, fixes his pran, the life air, pran vayu, pran, between the eyebrows, bhrur madhe, and steadily remembers the divine Lord with great devotion, certainly attains him. This is the Buddha shlokas 9 and 10. Now, meditation upon God can be of various types. One can meditate upon the names of the God, he can meditate upon the forms of the God, he can meditate upon the qualities of the God, or he can meditate upon the abodes of the God, he can meditate on the hobbies of the God, actions of the God, or even the associates of the God. So there are several ways of meditation about God. All these different aspects of supreme divinity are non-different than him. They are all God only. When we attach our mind to any of these, our mind comes into the divine world and becomes purified. To start meditation on any of these, whether it is his name, form, quality, abode, hobby, action, associates, anything, the antakaran, the mind start getting purified. Hence, any or all of these can be made an object of meditation. So this is what Shri Krishna is asking us, to start meditation on any of these forms, either name or form or abode or quality, whatever. Now Kavi, in 9th shloka we have said Kavi. What is the meaning of Kavi? Kavi means a poet, a seer, a philosopher, or a thinker. By extension, it would mean omniscient, sarvajnani. As God knows the past, he knows the present, and he knows the future as well, as he has declared in 7th adhyaya. Vedaham samaditani vartamanani cha Arjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mantu vedana kaschana. So he is omniscient. Then Purana. What is Purana? Purana means without beginning and the most ancient. God is the origin of everything, whether it is spiritual or whether it is material. But there is nothing from which he is originated and nothing that precedes him. So he is Purana. Then Anushasitaram means the ruler. God is the creator of laws by which the universe functions. He governs his affairs directly or and through his appointed celestial gods. Yama, Varuna, all these are the associates of God. So thus everything is under his regime, under the God's regime. Anuraniya means the subtler than the subtlest, smallest. Soul is subtler than the matter, but God is seated within the soul. Hence he is subtler than the soul. Sarvasya means the sustainer of all, or just as the ocean is the support of all waves that emanate from him, God is the sustainer of all. Achintya means of inconceivable form. Since our mind and senses can only conceive material forms, God is beyond the scope of our material mind and senses. However, if he bestows his grace, then by his yoga maya power, he makes our mind divine in nature and becomes conceivable. So Achintya Rupa, Aditya Varna. That means he is glorious, magnificent, dazzling and splendid like the sun. Tamasa Parastat, beyond the darkness of ignorance. Tamas is darkness, Parastat beyond. So he is beyond the darkness of ignorance, just as the sun can never be covered by the clouds, even though it may seem to us as if the sun has been hidden by the clouds. Similarly, God too can never be covered by the material energy, even though he may be in contact with the world, but he can never be covered. Like sun cannot be covered by clouds, can never be covered. As we discussed in bhakti, the mind is focused. The mind is focused upon the divine attributes of the God, forms, qualities, etc. They are the various topics of bhaktis we discussed just now. When bhakti is performed by itself, it is called Shuddha Bhakti. Bhakti, Eka Bhakti. So it is Shuddha Bhakti. When it is performed alongside Ashtanga Yoga, what is Ashtanga Yoga? Yama, Niyam, Pratyahar, Asan, Pranayam, Dhyan, Dharana, Samadhi. What does it all mean? Yama, Niyam and all that. What does it mean all? Yama means the moral codes such as non-violence and truthfulness. That is Yama. What is Niyam? Self-discipline such as sexual restraint. That is Niyam. Asana. Asana we know all of us. Posture which improves the strength and flexibility of our body is asana. Then pranayam. Pranayam also all of us know. Control, those techniques are called pranayam. Pratyahar, sense withdrawal, or controlling the mind by withdrawing from the attractions of the material world. That is pratyahar. Dharana. Dharana is concentration on a single object or a single point. That is dharana, concentration. Dhyan. Dhyan is meditation. And samadhi, in samadhi you become oneness with the self. That is the last stage of this Ashtanga Yoga. So Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan and Samadhi. This is all Ashtanga Yoga. When it is mixed with Bhakti, when you do Bhakti while performing Ashtanga Yoga, so you do Ashtanga Yoga as well as Bhakti, then it is called Yoga Mishra Bhakti. Devotion allied with Ashtanga Yoga Sadhana. In this Adhyaya, Shri Krishna will describe Yoga Mishra Bhakti, that means Ashtanga Yoga plus Bhakti from the slok 10 to 13. So this is what we are going to learn in this Adhyaya from next slok onwards. One of the beauties of Bhagavad Gita is that it embraces variety of sadhanas. Not only one type of sadhana, various types of sadhanas it embraces, thereby bringing people of diverse upbringing, background and personalities under its control in its embrace. That is the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. When Western scholars attempt to read the Hindu scriptures without the guidance of a guru, they get confused by the variety of paths, variety of instructions and philosophical viewpoints in our various scriptures. However, this variety is actually a blessing for us. Because of the sanskars of our endless lifetimes, we all have different nature and preferences. No two human beings are same. They have different choices, different preferences. And they are governed by our past sanskars of innumerable lives that we have lived so far. And when, example is when 4 people go to buy clothes, for example. For them, they go to a shop for buying the clothes. They end up choosing different colors, different styles, and different fashions. Each one has a different preference. If the shopkeeper keeps only one color and style, he would be unable to cater to the variety inherent in human nature. Similarly, on the spiritual path also, people have performed various sadhanas in their past lifetimes. The Vedic scriptures embrace that variety, while simultaneously stressing the bhakti, the devotion to the God, as the common thread. You may follow any path, but the common thread is devotion to the God. That is bhakti, as the common thread that ties them all together. By virtue of power of yoga, the jnani makes his prana ascend from sushumna and then establishes it firmly at the midpoint between the eyebrows, bhruvar madhye. Now, bhruvar madhya means, is it this point? No, it is not this point. Actually, the actual point is much deeper, much deeper. This point is called Agya Chakra. Agya Chakra. In yoga, they call it Agya Chakra, that bhruvar madhya point. Now, how to know exact location of that Agya Chakra? Imagine a rod passing through our eyebrows, bhruvar madhya, from between this center point to the back of our head. And from the crown chakra, a vertical line passes through downwards. Where these two lines meet, That center point is called Agya Chakra, and that is what Bhror Madhya means. A yogi or a jnani actually accords direction to the prana. He makes prana ascend, going up, rise from the Sushumna. Now, what is Sushumna, Ida, Pingala, that we'll see. One needs to know what is Ida, Pingala, and their functions, and how to awaken Sushumna. This is a part of yoga. The practice should be that daily you endeavor to awaken Sushumna, because Sushumna reaches up to that top, in the center of the mind, in the center of our head, where that Agya Chakra is there. And ascend the prana to the midpoint between the eyebrows, that means to that Agya Chakra. And it is only when he becomes adept in this practice in life, he alone will be able to perform it at the moment of death. Because you are asked by Shri Krishna to take this to your Agya Chakra, Bhror Madhya. Now, what is this Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna Nadis? In yoga, the Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna Nadis are energy channels that run along the spine, our spine, Mirudanda, and through the nostrils, two nostrils. What is Ida Nadi? Ida Nadi is located on the left side of the spine and associated with the left nostril. Controls the mental process and gives energy to our emotions. It represents the lunar energies. It rules the left side of the body and the right hemisphere of our brain. So left side of the body and right side of the brain is controlled by our Ida Nadi. What is Pingala Nadi? Pingala located on the right side of the spine. Ida was located on the left side. Pingala is located on the left side, right side of the spine, associated with the right nostril, full of energy, adding vitality, physical strength, and efficiency. That is the job of Pingala Nadi when you do pranayam through Pingala Nadi. Activates the right side of the body and the left hemisphere of the brain. So this is Pingala Nadi. What is Sushumna Nadi? Sushumna Nadi runs along the spinal cord in the center. Ida left, Pingala right, Sushumna in the right of the spinal cord, through the 7 chakras of the body. It pierces through the 7 chakras of the body and goes up the central space. A moment when the both nostrils flow freely, then only you can take Sushumna, the pranavayu from Sushumna up and up. When both nostrils are, they flow freely. The Ida and Pingala Nadis represent the basic duality in existence, which can be personified as masculine and feminine. Ida masculine, Pingala feminine, like that. The balance of these nadis is important for harmony, peace, physical and mental health of a person. So this is what Ida, Pingala and Sushumna means. So the practice that should be done on a daily basis is to ascend the prana through the Agya Chakra, Bhror Madhya, and it is only one who practices it daily. He can only take that prana vayu up and up and up through Sushumna. He alone can then perform this at the moment of death, which Shri Krishna is asking us to do. Shri Krishna is speaking very technical now. He is mentioning the specific practices and gain expertise while we still have the time. We still have the time. So we can learn what is Ida, Pingala, Sushumna, how to do pranayam, take the Sushumna up, take the pranavaya through Sushumna up to that Agya Chakra, Bhror Madhya. When such an adept yogi establishes his prana at the time of death, his prana will exit from the 10th gate of the body. In 5th Adhyaya we learned Navadvare Pure Dehi. No, 9 doors of the body. 2 plus 2 plus 2, 6, 7 and 2 for passing the body waste. But there is a 10th door also. There is our Brahmarandra on the top here. That's why when the yogis take the pranavayu, by doing pranayam, they raise the pranavayu through Sushumna up to this point, Bhror Madhya. As I said, Bhror Madhya is here, plus here if you take a line, the center point is Bhror Madhya. So it has already traveled a great distance. It has only traveled a few inches to go to the 10th door, which is the Brahmarandra. So yogis take out their prana through Brahmarandra, to that 10th door of the body. When that happens, then what bondage? When the pranava goes to that 10th door of Brahmarandra, then what is bondage? No bondage. What birth, what death cycle? Absolutely nothing. He is a liberated soul now. And that is what Sri Krishna is teaching us in this adhyaya, how to become liberated by mixing Ashtanga Yoga and Bhakti. So if we want to follow this path of attaining moksha, we must know that we cannot bypass the process of perfecting the practice of pranayam and the discipline of yoga that deals with awakening of chakras in our body. Ida, Pingala, Sushumna, and how to do pranayam. We'll discuss some part of pranayam again in next shlokas. Slok number 11. Yadaksharam veda vido vadanti vishanti yadyatayo vitaragaha yadichanto brahmacharyai charanti tatte padam sangrahena pravakshe. Scholars of Vedas, Veda Vido, scholars of Vedas describe him as imperishable, Aksharam. Great sannyasis, ascetics, practice the vow of celibacy. Brahmacharya and Charanti. Charanti is to follow in the Acharan. So they follow Brahmacharya in their Acharan and renounce the worldly pleasures to enter into him. Idatyo vitaraga. Idu Chantu Brahmacharya Charanti tatte padam sangrahena pravakshe. Pravakshe is, I will explain to you briefly how to achieve this goal, which scholars of Vedas have described this Paramatma as imperishable, great ascetic sannyasis. They practice the vow of celibacy and renounce the worldly pleasures to enter into him. That means to become one with him. Shri Krishna says to Arjuna, I shall now explain Pravakshe to you briefly to that goal. God has been referred to by many names in Vedas. Some of them are Sat, Avyakrut, Pran, Indra, Dev, Brahma, Paramatma, Bhagwan, Purush. Maybe some more are there. In various places, God is also referred to as Akshar. Akshar means imperishable. Akshar is perishable, Akshar is imperishable. In this shloka, Shri Krishna is describing the path of Yoga Mishra Bhakti. That means Ashtanga Yoga plus devotion. To attain that formless aspect of the God. The word Sangrahena means in brief. You will describe the path only briefly and not emphasize on it. Since this path is not suitable for everyone. Everybody cannot do yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. Everybody cannot do this. So this is for selected few who understand what is Ashtanga Yoga and who have become expert in raising their prana vayu through Sushumna to the top of the head to that Bhrur Madhya point. Now what is this path? Which Shri Krishna is telling us to recapitulate. On this path, one must perform severe austerities, renounce the worldly desires, practice brahmacharya, and live the life of rigid continence. Continence means the ability to control your feelings, your emotions, and especially the desire to have sex. Through this, a person's physical energy gets conserved. When he has so much of control, his physical energy gets conserved and then transformed through sadhana into spiritual energy. Energy is energy. You can convert it with spiritual sadhana into spiritual energy. As a devotee, as an aspirant who practices celibacy, enhances memory power and the intellect for comprehending the spiritual practices also get enhanced when he follows the principles of brahmacharya. But brahmacharya or celibacy does not mean enforce sexual inactivity. The one who has waves of sexual urges arising in his mind, but who forcibly tries to suppress these urges, such a person cannot be termed as a celibate, as a brahmachari. Then who is celibate? Who is brahmachari? He who no longer desires sexual gratification, who no longer wants momentary carnal pleasures, who seeks unceasing bliss, and thus there are no sexual upsurges arising in his mind. Such a person, even when he has to enter into the act of reproduction, even that is not an act of sex gratification for him. such a communication too is meditative. He takes that activity also as meditation, meditative. For there is no underlying physical or mental sexual urge or desire. A small story. Once a young man, he approached a Mahatma and he said, Mahatma Ji, I am very sad and disillusioned because the woman I love has left me. The girl I love has left me. The young man said to him, the Mahatma replied, so what if she has deserted you? You are young and handsome. Many women will find you attractive. The young man said, I don't think so. No one seems to be attracted towards me. This is my experience. The Mahatma made that fellow young man to read a scripture in which it was mentioned that the one who energizes his body with prana, his body glows with the great luster of scores of Kamadeva, god of love. Mahatma continued, this body is made up of flesh and bones, in which prana at present is dormant. So the first one has to awaken the prana. Because when the body is suffused with prana, its glow is such that even heavenly damsels and apsaras begin to be after you, ready to fall at your feet. The Mahatma continued, my son, start practicing pranayam to bring that luster to your body. Slowly and surely, you will become winsome. And not only one, but several women will fall for you. Listening to these consoling words of Mahatma and at the same time, lusting for some women, the young man exclaimed, Maharaj, I now feel relieved. You have shown me the path. You have shown me the way. At the moment, whichever girl I find attractive, either she turns away from me or insists on tying a rakhi, saying that I have no brother, so you be my brother, please. So with this objective of wooing the women, he learned pranayam and mudras from the Mahatma with great interest and dedication. In this way, 6 months elapsed. His mind, which was earlier very restless, became calmer and calmer. One day he asked, Gurudev, the shloka from scripture that you made me to read, I understand that it is absolutely authentic. But a doubt has entered my mind now. The aim with which I started up the practice was to energize my body with prana so as to make it extremely attractive. But after following these practices, my mind is becoming a bit strange. Now there is no desire to even look at the girl. I have been practicing briefly and already my mind has turned away from that attraction. Then what will be the benefit of cultivating that pranic energy and a lustrous body when the desire itself has gone? The Mahatma replied, son, we will talk about this after another 6 months. During next 6 months, the young man continued his practice and visited Mahatma regularly. His mind started becoming integrated. Celibacy became a natural way of life for him. He became a brahmachari. He was slowly getting established in yoga. Seeing his consistency, the Mahatma thought of putting him to the test. So he instructed some of his female disciples to approach him with a proposal of love. They carried out the instructions as directed to them, but the young man rejected all the proposals. He came to Mahatma and said, whatever I wanted is happening today. And this is exactly what you also had told me. That girl will fall for you. So I am seeing girls are falling for me. But the funny thing is that now there is no desire in me anymore. What I wanted I have got, but there is no desire in me anymore. So those of you who are Bollywood fans, if you have seen the movie Guide, old movie Guide of Devanand, you will remember that the end of that movie Guide is having a similar end. When the hero Devanand, after forced into some spiritual sadhana by the villagers, he says at the end of sadhana, when the sadhana fructifies and the rain starts falling in that village, he says, now I can get whatever I want, but now I have no wants at all. So this is what it happens in yoga sadhana. The subject of this shloka is also covered by Shri Krishna in 6th Adhyaya. when he said, Yada hinendriya artheshu na karma sunushyajyate sarva sankalpa sannyasi yoga rudhrasta duchyate. Okay, continue further. Shlok 12. Now this is important. Sarvadvarani sayyamya manordhi niruddhyacho murdhya dhayatmanah pranamastito yoga dharanam. Restraining all the gates of the body. We know from 5th Adhyay, we have 9 gates. We have already counted those 9. Navadvare pure dehi, that Navadvar is our body. Navadvar. And fixing the mind in the heart region. Fixing the mind in the heart region, what does it mean? We'll see. And then drawing the life breath to the head. To that point, which we discussed in the earlier shloka, one should get established in steadfast yogic concentration. Sarvadvarani sayyam. Manordhi niruddhyacho. Murdhya dhayatmanah pranamasto yogadharanam. So the world enters the mind through senses, isn't it? Senses come in contact with the world and the world enters in our mind through those senses. We first see, hear, touch, taste and smell the objects of perception. Then the mind dwells upon these objects. Repeated contemplation creates attachment, which automatically creates further repetition of thoughts in the mind. Restraining senses is thus an essential aspect of locking the mind, locking the world out of mind. A practitioner of meditation who neglects this point has to keep grappling with the incessant stream of worldly thoughts that the unrestrained senses create. He will always get disturbance in his mind. And Shri Krishna delivers the instructions to guard the gates of the body. Sarvadvarani sayyamya. All 9 gates should be closed. The word Sarvadvarani sayyamya means controlling all passages that enter the body. Outside world thing should not enter the body. So all 9 gates should be closed. This implies restricting the senses from their normal outgoing tendencies. Eyes will start going to the world. Ears will start going to the world. So like this, all the 9 gates will start going to the world. Krishna says, Sarvadvarani sayyamya. Close all the 9 gates. All 9 doors should be closed. This implies directing devotional feelings from the mind to the Aksharam, imperishable Supreme Lord enthroned there. When we say Manoridhi Niruddhesha, when the mind is to be locked in the heart, that means the mind should be disconnected from the material world. Then it is only one place, heart. And in the heart who stays? Paramatma. So the mind will start feeling those devotional feelings about that Aksharam, imperishable Supreme Lord enthroned in our heart. The word Yoga Dharana means uniting the consciousness with the God. This refers to meditating upon him with complete attention. So there are the steps. Sarvadvarani sayyamya, then manodiddecha, murdhya dhayatmana, pranamastha yoga dharanam. These are the steps which Paramatma has said in this shloka. Further, slok number 13. Omite kaksharam brahma yaharan mamanusmaran yah prayatityajan deham sayati paramangatim. Sayati paramangatim. One who departs from the body while remembering me, the Supreme Personality, that means Supreme Paramatma God, and chanting the syllable Om, he will attain the supreme goal. Basically, through these shlokas, what we are reading now, Sri Krishna has essentially clarified the entire process of attaining the supreme goal of human beings. The Lord has clearly explained what to do and how to do. He is teaching us. He is Yogeshwar ultimately. So he is teaching us the yoga also and bhakti also. He is God, so he is teaching us bhakti, and he is Yogeshwar, so he is teaching us yoga also. The foremost step is closing all the 9 exit doors of the senses. And this can be achieved through certain well-defined practices like Yoni Mudra. Yoni Mudra, what is Yoni Mudra? Close the anal exit through pressure exerted by the right heel. In female, the left heel is used to close the vaginal outlet. And in males, the left heel exerts pressure on the perineum. Perineum, that means the area of skin between the anus and the external genitalia. That small portion is that perineum. Then the thumb, the middle, the ring, and the little finger are used to close ears, eyes, nose, and mouth respectively. So all 9 gates have been closed. Now one may ask, how can you breathe if the nose and mouth have been closed? Well, this is where the practice of pranayam comes to our help. With your nose and mouth closed also you can breathe. Thus, having balanced the Ida and Pingala nadis, closing 9 doors. What is Ida and Pingala? We'll discuss that. And closing all the 9 doors and performing in either the Antar Kumbhak, suspending breath after inhalation. You inhale the pranavayu and suspend it for a moment. Or Bahya Kumbhak, that means suspending the breath after exhalation. When you steadfastly fixate your entire concentration on the midpoint between the eyebrows, Bhru or Madhya, the energy dormant in the Sushumna, in the center of your spinal cord, it gets awakened. And it ascends, starts going up, moving up. And it is only then, after attaining this state as described now, that one mentally recites the syllable Om, not loudly. Why not loudly? Because all gates have been closed. You can't open your mouth to say Om, then you have violated the rule. So mentally you have to chant Om. And such a man who has, having achieved this state, recites Om at the point of death, undoubtedly he enters the supreme abode, Paramatma. Reaches the Paramgati, reaches the supreme destination. And this is beyond doubt. Shri Krishna says this is beyond doubt. It is not a matter of chance, but an absolute certainty. It is guaranteed by Shri Krishna. All these words are from Shri Krishna. It is a guarantee from Shri Krishna that if you follow this process, you will attain the supreme destination, you will attain the Paramgati. Now, how should we start? Keep on practicing slow and deep breathing first. Keep on practicing Nadi Shodhan Pranayam. You can learn it from a teacher. It's very simple. Because it affects the 72,000 subtle channels through which the prana, the vital force, enabling the optimal functioning of each and every organ of the body. Now, what is Nadi Shodhan Pranayam? Nadi Shodhan Pranayam is a breathing technique that involves inhaling and exhaling through each nostril in turn, left, right, left, right. It is also known as alternate nostril breathing. What are the benefits of Nadi Shodhan Pranayam? It calms the mind and the body. It relieves the stress and anxiety. It improves the breathing. It strengthens the lung muscles. It lowers the blood pressure. It balances the left and right hemisphere of the brain, both left and right. How to do it? Sit in a comfortable position with straight spine. Straight spine. Keep your shoulders relaxed and face neutral. Close your eyes and mouth. Place your left hand on your left knee. Hold your middle and index finger towards the root of your thumb. Keep the ring and little finger straight together. Straight together. Place your open right palm on your knee. Right hand is empty, so keep it on your knee. Inhale deeply through the right nostril. Or this right nostril. Hold your breath for a moment. And then exhale deeply through your left nostril. Then repeat this process for the alternating nostrils. So this is the Nadi Shodhan Pranayam. You can learn it from a teacher. I am not a yoga teacher, so don't go by me. I'm just trying to demonstrate what I know about it. So this is how it is. Thus, having balanced the Ida and Pingala nadis, closing all the doors and performing the either this Antar Kumbhak or Bahya Kumbhak, what we discussed. When people perform this, and at the end of life, when they say Om, that is the only way we can attain God. The practice of Nadi Shodhana Pranayam, it improves the flow of this primal force, life force, through the entire body. And later, you complement with the following practice. Inhale to the count of 2. Retain the inhaled breath for the count of 8. Exhale to the count of 4. And then hold the breath out for the count of 1. So this way you can perform your Nadi Shodhan Pranayam. Continuous practice of all these steps what we have discussed, it not only improves your breathing and the overall health, but it also helps in internalizing the mind. Mind starts looking inward. The mind which was looking outward, it starts looking inward. So be observant of the breath, and awakening of the awareness happens automatically. You don't have to do any special efforts for that. Follow the steps and things will happen automatically. That's why these slokas 11 to 13 are extremely important to understand this path laid down by Yogeshwar, Lord Shri Krishna. See, we cannot attain Lord Krishna by just chanting Krishna, 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 Krishna. Can you attain Krishna by only chanting his name? Way to attain Krishna is practice, practice, and practice. This is the only way of attaining Krishna. Yes, the chanting does help. Chanting of names of Krishna does help, because it aids in concentrating your fragmented, your impure mind. Namajap is definitely important. And the only one with focused and purified mind can carry out these practices. The purification mind is a must. And taking names of God definitely helps in purification of the mind. But it will not get you to the God. It will purify your mind, and that's all. So you follow the first step of purification of the mind by chanting his name Krishna. Next step you have to follow. With purified and focused mind, you have to carry out these practices, what we have discussed. Thus, chanting the Lord name, singing his glory, prepares you for these deep practices. But always bear in mind that Krishna is not the individual body. Krishna is rather eternal, indestructible, ultimate truth, bliss, Chaitanya. That is Sri Krishna. The sacred syllable of Om, also called as Pranav, represents the sound manifestation of Brahma. Om is Parabrahma. Om Ityekaksharam Brahma. Formless aspect of Supreme Lord, without virtues and attributes. Hence it is considered imperishable like the God. God is imperishable. Om is also imperishable like God. This Sri Krishna is describing this here, the process of meditation in the context of Ashtanga Yoga Sadhana. We discuss Ashtanga Yoga Sadhana: Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dhyan, Dharana, and Samadhi. This is Ashtanga Yoga. He states that one should chant Om syllable to bring the mind into focus while practicing austerities and maintaining the vow of celibacy, brahmacharya. The Vedic scriptures also refers to Om as Anahat Nad. Anahat Nad. It is the sound that pervades creation and can be heard by yogis who tune into Paramatma, who tune into Brahma. The Vedic scriptures of our religion also state that God first created the sound. From the sound, he created the space. So he created the sound Om. From there, he created the space. Then proceeded further in the process of creation. The original sound was Om. Anahat Nad of Paramatma, Om. As a result, it is accorded so much of importance in Vedic philosophy, because this is the first word uttered by Paramatma, Om. It is called Mahavakya, or the great sound vibration of the Vedas, Om. It is also called the Bija Mantra. Om is also called Bija Mantra, because it is often attached to the beginning of all Vedic mantras. Nothing starts without Om chanting. Just as Hrim, Klim, Om is more important than all those. The vibration of Om consists of 3 letters. A, U, Ma. A, U, Ma. In the proper chanting of Om, one begins by making the sound A from the belly with the open throat and mouth. A, A. The breath should come from the belly. This is merged into chanting of the sound U that is created from the middle of the mouth. The sequence ends with the chanting of Ma. A, U, Ma. With mouth closed. When you say Ma, the mouth is closed. So the 3 letters A, U, Ma. How to do it? So A has to come from belly, U has to come from middle of the mouth, and Ma, the mouth is closed. This is the way to perform Om sadhana. Of course, all of you must be knowing. These 3 letters A, U, Ma has many meanings and interpretations. Creation, maintenance, and dissolution. A, U, Ma. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. A, U, Ma. Sat, Parajatama. A, U, Ma. So these are the different connotations of this A, U, Ma. Om is the name for the impersonal aspect of the God. The Pranav sound is the object of meditation in Ashtanga Yoga, which we discussed. In the path of Bhakti Yoga, devotees prefer to meditate upon the personal names of the God, not on the impersonal name, not on the Nirgun Nirakar, but on the personal form of the God, like Shri Ram, Shri Krishna, Shiva, Ganesha, etc. Because of the greater sweetness of the God's bliss in these personal names, chanting these names has a great pleasure. The distinction is like the difference between having a baby in the womb and having a baby in the lap. Definitely, the joy of having the baby in the lap is far more delightful than baby in the womb only, isn't it? So taking Paramatma's name is like having the baby on the lap. But remember, the final examination of all these meditation discussions, what we are doing now, is the time of death. Those who are able to fix their consciousness upon God, despite the intense pain of death, they pass this exam. So all these steps what we have discussed are to remember at the time of death, and then despite the intense pain of the death, you have to follow these steps, then they will pass this exam. Such persons attain the supreme destination upon leaving their body, and this is a guarantee by Shri Krishna. It is extremely difficult and requires a lifetime of practice. But no day is late. You can start from today, doing this pranayam, taking prana up to that topmost point of Agya Chakra, and following the steps of 2, 8, 4, all that we discussed. Controlling senses, closing all the 9 doors, all the steps what we discussed. If we start practicing this today, maybe in next 10, 12, 15, 20 years, we may become expert in doing this. And at the moment of death, maybe we'll remember this. So why not to start? Steps are not extremely difficult, maybe difficult, but not extremely difficult. If we practice, we can do it. We can do it. Have that confidence. Lord is with us. Krishna is with us. We are following His instructions. He is monitoring us. If we make a mistake, He will guide us. Have that confidence in Shri Krishna. In the next sloka, Shri Krishna gives an easy way of gaining such mastery of remembering God at the time of death. Everybody cannot follow this path of Ashtanga Yoga and Bhakti together. So Shri Krishna realizes this and he suggests a simpler way of remembering God at the time of death. What is that way? See how a common man who finds it difficult to practice these methods in these slokas what we discussed this morning, this evening, endowed with attributes and form. Paramatma says in the 4th slok number 14, Ananyaketa sadatai yomam smarati nityashah tasyaham sulavah partha nityayuktasya yoginaha. Meaning, O Partha, Arjuna, is the yogi who perpetually thinks of me with exclusive, undivided devotion and remain absorbed in me, to him I am easily attainable. Tasyaham sulavah partha. But for that the condition is Ananya Cheta Sadatam Smrati Nityashaha. Now, Ananya Cheta. In the entire Bhagavad Gita, this is the only slok in which Shri Krishna says he is easily attainable. Rest everywhere Bhagavan says, I am not so easy to be obtained. This is the only slok in Bhagavad Gita when Shri Krishna says, I am easily available. Sulabha Partha. Tasyam Sulabha Partha. I am available with Sulabha. Easily. However, the condition he states is Ananya Cheta. The mind should be attached to no one else but only God. This condition of exclusivity is often repeated in Bhagavad Gita in many shlokas. If you take 9th Adhyay, in 22nd slok of 9th Adhyay, Paramatma says, Ananyas chintayanto ma ye janah paripasate teshan nityabhiyuktana yogakshemam vahamyaham. In 18th Adhyay, we will discuss later, 18th Adhyay, Paramatma says, Tameva sharanam gaccha sarvabhavena bharata tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsasi shashvatam. And in the same Adhyay, Paramatma says, in slok number 66 of 18th Adhyay, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja ahantva sarvapapebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. So this exclusivity of putting our mind in God is expected in Gita in many shlokas. A devotee, a striver whose mind is not attached in the least towards prosperity and pleasure and remains absorbed in the God only, does not depend on anyone besides the God, is of undivided mind. It depends only on God. So we have to start training our mind in this fashion. Such a devotee, such a striver, worships the God endowed with attributes such as we said, Shri Ram, Shri Krishna, Shri Shiva, Durga Mata, Ganesha, Surya Bhagavan, all this. He, without thinking of other forms of God as different from his own, worships his favorite deity, Ishta Devata, with exclusive devotion. He has firm conviction that he is only God's and only God is his. He is of nobody else, and no one else is his. Only God is his, and he is of God. Satatam Yumam Smriti Nityashaha. Satatam means constantly. From the time he is awake to the time he goes to sleep is Satatam. And what is Nityasha? Nityasha means always. That is, he thinks of God from the day he knew the God till the time he breathes his last. That is Nityasha. This is important as devotees make this mistake that they love God, but they also love and get attached to the worldly people and worldly objects, worldly attractions. So whatever positive gains they accomplish through sadhana becomes tarnished by worldly attachments. If you apply soap on a cloth to cleanse it, but simultaneously keep throwing dirt upon that cloth, your efforts will be an exercise in futility. The cloth will never get cleaned. So you are using soap, you are using spiritual sadhana, but at the same time you are getting attracted to material pleasures, getting dirt on it. So how can you purify then? So the mantras of Ananya Cheta and Satatam Nityasha are to be followed for attaining Shri Krishna. Then he will be easily attainable. He has promised this in this shloka, that I am easily available provided Ananya Cheta, Satatam and Nityashaha. If you remember me. Tasyam Sulabha Partha Nityatyaksa Yogana. I am easily attainable to such a devotee who is absorbed in me. Absorbed in me does not mean that his mind is constantly, it dwells constantly on me. But it means that he is devoted to me in a dedicated spirit with full faith and love. For instance, a man always remembers that he is a man and not a woman. We have to remember this, that I am a man and not a woman. This automatically is there in our mind. Really, God's name should be there automatically in our mind. We should not have to remember this. It has to come that automatically as you remember that you are a man and not a woman, or a woman and not a man. You don't have to think about it, no? It is there all the time in your mind. So God's name should be like that in our mind. So similarly, a devotee has a firm belief that he is only mine and only I am his. He who maintains this affinity with Lord is called absorbed in me. His senses, his body, his mind, his intellect, etc. are not his. But if he accepts that his body, mind, etc. are his own, then Krishna says, I cannot be easily attainable to such a devotee. Who has this ahankar that his body, mind, intellect is mine, then I am not easily attainable to for such a devotee. The fact is that we have identity with the God, not with the body or with the world, this material world. Our identity with the world is not possible. We are a fragment of God, Mamai Mamsho, we are that. But by error we identify ourselves with the bodies and think that God is separate from us. I am different, God is different. Dvaita Bhav. The result is that we have to follow the cycle of birth and death till we understand and accept this reality and start acting accordingly. We keep rotating in this cycle of birth and death. And when we realize the reality, the God can be easily attainable to us. So why not realize this reality in this birth itself, which Krishna is expecting us to realize? Constant contemplation of Bhagavad-Gītā is an easiest way to make us realize this reality. So follow Swamiji's mantra, Gita padhe, padhaye aur जीवन में लाए. If we can bring it to our life, we are following the expectations of Lord Sri Krishna. When a devotee holds that there is no other entity besides God, then how will his mind, where will his mind wander? How will it wander? He is of the firm belief that there is nothing, no other entity other than God in this universe. Why will it wander? And where will it wander? Everywhere is God only. So where will it wander? Therefore, he naturally and automatically becomes Ananya Cheta. No other place. Ananya Cheta. No Anya. No other place, only God. And this also leads him to satisfy the other prerequisites of Satatam Yumam Smarati Nityashaha. So when you become Ananya Cheta, it helps you to gain Satatam and Nityasha also. Thinking of this shloka from another point of view, who do we remember Ananya, Nityashaha and Satatam in our life? Is there any entity in the world about whom we have this feeling of Ananya, Nityasha and Satatam? Let us verify few relationships which we have in this world. Does the mother remember her son, Ananya Cheta, Nityasha and Satatam? Is the mother and son relationship comes true on this prerequisite expected by Shri Krishna? The mother who dearly loves her child, even she does not remember her child constantly at all moments. She forgets the child while she is carrying out her daily activities, or when she is enjoying the kitty party with her friends, or when the son has gone to the play school or the kindergarten. In fact, she takes a sigh of relief. Time mila mere ko kuch. So will the child remember the mother constantly? Nityasha, Ananya, Satatam. The child will remember his mother only when he is hungry, or he needs something, or he wants to say something, or he is unwell. Otherwise, he is busy playing in his own games. When he grows up, the son grows up, he gets busy with his school, his college, his friends, and mother becomes secondary for him. He seldomly remembers mother at that point. And when he gets married, फिर तो आनंद ही आनंद है. The wife takes charge of the son, and the mother becomes secondary. Now, does the husband remember the wife constantly? Ananya Cheta Satatam Smarati Nityasha. Or does the wife remember her husband constantly? Ananya Cheta Satatam Smarati Nityasha. Does that relationship satisfy the condition of this? Really speaking, no. You try and test any other relationship which satisfies this condition in this world. Friend to friend, husband to wife, wife to husband, son to parents, parents to son, teacher to students, students to teacher, any relationship. These three prerequisites expected by Krishna cannot be fulfilled by any of the relationships. So then what is the relationship that satisfies this condition? Shri Krishna says, you have to remember me, Ananya Cheta, Satatam and Nityasha. If we can find some entity about which we are following this rule, then we can replace that entity with Krishna, and then we can follow Krishna's requirement. But there is no entity in the world about which we can follow these three rules of Ananya Cheta, Satatam and Nityasha. So that if we know that entity, we can replace that with Krishna. See, our mind is like a monkey. It keeps jumping from one subject to another. It does not remain fixed on a subject continuously. So how can we do Ananya Cheta Satatam Nityasha? Mind is not so rigid. It keeps dancing from here to there like a drunk monkey. Another point is you remember only those you know. So you have to know someone to have this Ananya Cheta Satatam and Nityasha. If I ask you to remember the mother of my watchman of my building, whom you have never seen, can you remember her? You have never seen her. So how can you Ananya Cheta Satam Nityasha for that lady? Not possible. No? So who satisfies this prerequisite set up by Krishna? Ananya, Satatam and Nityasha. The answer to this $1 million question is you. You never forget yourself. You think about yourself, Ananya, Nityasha and Satatam. Since the childhood, you are thinking about yourself. So you satisfy this condition, all the three conditions, Ananya, Satatam and Nityasha. As you regard this body to be your identity, even when someone calls you by your name, when you are dozing off, you wake up in response and give a call to that call when somebody calls you with your name. Since your childhood till this day, the only person you constantly remember and had dialogue is you yourself only. So this relationship of you with yourself satisfies the condition Shri Krishna has set as Ananya, Satatam and Nityasha. Thus you never forget yourself. Now to bring this relationship between us and Shri Krishna as he wants, that we remember him Ananya, Satatam and Nityasha, the only option is to eliminate the distinction between you and Shri Krishna. No distinction between me and Shri Krishna. That is in fact when you become Krishna. Unbelievable. But unless this thought is deeply rooted in our mind that I am Krishna, if I am Krishna, then how can I ever forget my own self? I am not forgetting myself for even a single moment. If Krishna has set up this condition to me, then I have to replace myself with Krishna. Then I will remember him constantly. If I feel that Krishna is different and I am different, then after some time I may forget also. I may forget Krishna. But I will never forget myself. To replace yourself with Krishna is the only way. Thus, he who has seen his oneness with Krishna, he alone can remember Krishna continually, unceasingly, uninterruptedly. I am Brahma, I am Adiyajna. Until one does not experience this, how can one then abide in its continual remembrance? Because you remember yourself, no? So you replace yourself with Krishna. Then only the remembrance can come as expected by Krishna. As long as God is separate, distinct from you, you cannot continually remember the God. So the veritable truth is that you can never ever unceasingly remember anyone other than yourself. So develop this thought. It may sound a little strange, but develop this thought in the mind that I am Shri Krishna. Then we will never forget Shri Krishna. And as God says, he is easily attainable. That means the God is not a rarity. God says I am easily available, easily attainable. That means God is not a rarity. But the devotees who, having known this reality about him, are rare. They are rare. That's why we feel God is rare. God says I am not rare, I am easily attainable. But the devotees who have this, who have known this reality of God, they are rare. So if you follow the prescripts given by Sri Krishna in this shloka, you can attain him. Next shloka 15. Mamapetya punarjanma dukkha layama shashvatam naptvanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramangataha. After explaining how to realize him, now in this shloka and in the next shloka, Sri Krishna explains the merits of his realization. What you will attain when we realize Sri Krishna. Paramatma says, Mamapetya punarjanma dukkha layama shashvatam naptvanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramangataha. Having attained me, the great souls So that great souls, Krishna is calling them Mahatma. The great souls who attain Paramatma, Shri Krishna says they are Mahatma. So the great souls, Mahatma, are no more subject to rebirth in this world. Mamapit punarjanma dukkhalayama shashvatam. Napnuvanti Mahatmana. They are not subject to punarjanma. No cycle of birth and death for them anymore. This world, which is a transient and full of misery, because they have attained the highest perfection, so they don't have to come back to face this dukkhalayam, and which is ashashvatam. So what is the result of attaining God? Those who become God realized get released from the cycle of birth and death and reach the divine abode, the feet of the God. Thus they don't have to take birth in this material world, which is a place of suffering. In 13th Adhyaya we learned, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshana Darshanam. Janma is a misery. Mrityu is of course a misery. Jara, old age is a misery. Vyadhi, disease is a misery. These are all miseries. The life, material life is full of miseries. So Darsha Varman said this is Dukkhalaya and Ashashvatam. No guarantee what will happen next moment. It is Ashashvat. We suffer a painful process of birth, crying helplessly in the womb and suffering the spicy, sour food eaten by the mother. And this goes on for 9 long months. We are locked up in the womb. Then as the babies, we have needs that we cannot express. Babies cannot speak. So we cannot express our needs. So we cry again. In adolescence, when we come, we have to grapple with the physical desires that make us suffer mental anguish. All desires do not get fulfilled. So mental anguish does come. In married life, we endure the quirky, sometimes funny and unacceptable habits, behavior of our spouse. We have to accept. When we reach the old age, we suffer from our own body and mind. Suffer from the ignorance and result insults meted out to us by the very same children for whom we have suffered throughout our life. We wanted to give them a good life, we suffered, give them a good life. But now they are insulting us. They are ignoring us. Ab better ye chup corner mein. You will get food for 2 times and then don't talk. Keep quiet. Okay? Insulting. Ignoring. So ignorance and insult, these 2 things you have to bear in the old age. In addition, the pains of body weakness, diseases are there. So all through the life, we suffer the miseries from our own body and mind and the behavior of others. And of course, the inclement environment. Finally, we suffer the pain of death, which cannot be expressed in words. The pain of death cannot be expressed in words. But mind you, all this misery is not meaningless. It has a purpose in the grand design of God. God gives these miseries with a purpose. What is the purpose? It gives us the realization that material world is not our permanent home. It is a dukkhalayam. It is ashashvatam. It is not our permanent home. It is like the reformatory. When the kids commit some kind of crime, they are sent to Bal Sudhar Kendra, no? For changing their habits, for making them good citizens. So this material world, Paramatma has sent us here as a Bal Sudhar Kendra. It is a reformatory for us. For souls like us who have turned their back towards God, God says, go and face the miseries in the material world and then you will realize what I am. So this is a Sudhar Kendra, this is a reformatory for us. If we did not suffer misery here, we would never develop the desire for God. Isn't it? If we have all pleasures only material life, we'll remember God then. I don't need God then. He'll say like this. For example, if we put our hand in the fire, 2 things will happen. When the hand is put in the fire, the skin will start burning in that fire and the neurons of our body, our brain, they created sensation of pain in the brain. So sensation of pain is one thing and burning of skin is second thing that is going to happen when our hand is put in the fire. If we did not experience the pain, we would not withdraw our hand from the fire, isn't it? If there is no pain, we are enjoying the fire. Okay, रहने दो हाथ, आग में जलने दो हाथ को. But when you suffer the pain, you quickly withdraw your hand from the fire. This pain is thus an indication that something is wrong somewhere and that needs to be corrected. So the pain this material world has given us, it makes us realize that something is wrong somewhere. I need to rectify my way of life. That is what Shri Krishna says. The pain we suffer in the material world is God's signal to us that our consciousness is defective and we need to progress from material consciousness towards the union with the God. Change the path. Don't run to the material world, but change the path, run towards the God. So this thought comes when we face misery in the material world. Ultimately, we get whatever we have made ourselves worthy through our chosen efforts. Those who remain with their consciousness turned away from the God continue rotating in the wheel of birth and death. And those who achieve exclusive devotion to God attain His divine abode. Shri Krishna says, the choice is yours. If you want to turn your back to me, fine. Keep rotating in this wheel of birth and death. I am just showing you a mirror. If you have exclusive devotion for me, you attain me. If you don't have, you turn your back to me, then keep rotating in this wheel of birth and death. Choice is yours. Ultimately, you have been bestowed upon the freedom to think and freedom to act. What can I do? I can only show you the mirror through Bhagavad-Gītā. If you do this, you will get this. If you do that, you will get that. More than that, I can't do anything. You have to do. Next sloka, 16th. Abrahma bhuna loka punaravartino arjuna mamupetya kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. Another guarantee from God. In all the worlds of this material creation, right up to Brahmaloka, the abode of Brahmadeva, you will be subject to rebirth and death, of course. When birth is there, death is inevitable. O Partha Arjuna, but on attaining my abode, Mamupetya, Kaunteya, son of Kunti, there is no further rebirth. Punarjanma na vidyate. There is no rebirth if you attain me. In the Vedic scriptures of our Sanatana Dharma, there are 7 planes of existence lower than the earthly plane. What are those? Tal, Atal, Pital, Sutal, Talatal, Rasatal, and Patal. These are the 7 planes below the earth. These are called Narak, or the hellish abodes. There are also 7 planes of existence starting from earth and above. 7 are down and 7 are above. They are Bhu, Bhuvaha, Swaha, Maha, Janaha, Tapaha, Satyaha. These are 7 planes above. The one above are called Swarga, or the celestial abodes. The one down are called Narakloka. Now Judaism and Islam have copied these ideas of Sanatana Dharma in their documents. They also say there are 7 worlds here and there. So it is a copy from our Sanatana Dharma actually. They were not existing when Sanatana Dharma was there. The different planes of existence are called various worlds. There are 14 worlds in the universe. 14 bhuvans we call it. The highest among them is the abode of Brahmadeva called Brahmaloka. All these lokas are within the realm of Maya of God. They are under the Maya of God. And the residents of these lokas are subject to birth and death. No one is excluded. Shri Krishna referred to these lokas in earlier sloka as Dukkhalayam and Ashashvatam, impermanent and full of misery. Even Indra, the god of celestial god, the king of celestial gods, has to die one day. Indra is also not permanent. He also has to die one day. तो हम फिर किस खेत मूली है ना, इंद्र को भी मौत आती है तो फिर. The Puranas relate that once Indra engaged Vishwakarma, the celestial architect, in the construction of a huge palace for Indra himself. Tired with the huge construction, Vishwakarma prayed to God for help. Please help me, God, I'm tired with this huge palace building. God came there. He asked Indra, such a huge palace, Indra, how many Vishwakarmas have you engaged in its making? How many Vishwakarmas are working here? Indra was surprised. How many Vishwakarmas? He said, I thought there was only one Vishwakarma. God smiled and he said, like this universe with 14 worlds, there are unlimited universes. Each one has one Indra and one Vishwakarma. Then Indra saw a line of ants walking towards him. He was surprised and inquired about the origin of these ants. From where these ants have come? God said, I have brought all those souls who were Indras once in their past lives and are now in the bodies of ants. Indra was astonished with their vast number. So many Indras are there. My God, I never knew. I thought I am the only one. Shortly after this incident, Lomash Rishi, the famous Rishi, Lomash Rishi, he came to the scene. He was carrying a straw mat on his head, and on his chest was a circle of hair. Some hair had fallen down from the circle, creating the gaps in that circle. Indra received the sage, Lomash Rishiji, and he asked politely to him, Rishiji, why do you carry this straw mattress on your head? And what is the meaning of this hair circle on your chest? The Lomash Rishi replied, I have received the boon of Chirayu, having long life. At the end of one Indra's tenure in this universe, one hair falls from my chest. That explains the gap in the circle. So all missing hair from my chest are all the Indras who have already fallen down. My disciple wished to build a big house for me to stay in. But I think life is so temporary, so why build a residence? I keep this straw mattress which protects me from the rain and it protects me from the sun also. At night, I spread it on the ground and go to sleep. Why do I need a residence? This is life is very temporary, no? Indra was shocked. He was highly surprised, thinking this Rishi who Chirayu, who has long life, has a lifespan of many Indras. He says he has seen many Indras who have fallen down, and yet he says his life is temporary. Then why am I building such a big palace? I am also going to fall down one day. And this Rishi, despite seeing so many Indras falling down, he says life is temporary. His pride quashed. Indra's pride quashed, and he let the Vishwakarma go. Don't build any palace for me. We can go now. While reading these stories from Purana, we must not fail to marvel at the amazing insight of Bhagavad-Gītā on the cosmology of this universe. As late as 16th century, Nicholas Copernicus, you might have heard the name Nicholas Copernicus, he was the first Westerner scientist to propose a theory that sun was in fact the center of universe. Subsequent advancement in astronomy, they revealed that it is not true. Sun was not the center of universe, but it is also revolving around the epicenter of a galaxy called Milky Way. Further progress enabled scientists to conclude that there are many galaxies like our Milky Way, each having innumerable stars like our sun. In contrast, our Vedic philosophy states thousands and thousands of years back, Vedas are 80,000 years old, that the earth is Bhurlok, which is revolving around the Swaraloka, and between them is the realm called Bhuvarloka. But this Swaraloka is also not stationary. It is fixed in the gravitation of Janaloka, and between them is the realm called Maharloka. But Janaloka is also not stationary either. It is revolving under the Brahmaloka. That means Satyaloka, and between them is the realm called Tapaloka. So this whole universe is rotating. Somebody is rotating around somebody. This explains the 7 high worlds, Vargalokas. Similarly, there are 7 lower worlds. For an insight put to us by our Sanatan Dharma thousands of years back, this is really amazing. Really amazing. The Krishna says in this shloka, all the 14 worlds in this universe are within the realm of my Maya. And as a result, the residents are subject to life and death. However, those who attain God realization are released from the bondage of material energy. Upon leaving this material body on death, they attain the divine abode of God. Thus, they don't have to take birth again in this material world. Some saints do come back even after liberation from Maya. Even after they get moksha, they again come back in this material world. They are the great descendants, masters, prophets. who engage in the divine welfare of the humankind. Their feeling is, like we have been benefited, all others should also get benefited. So they come here to serve the humankind. Sant Dnyaneshwar, Sant Kabir, Guru Govind Singh, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa are just few examples of these masters. Next sloka, 17th. Sahasrayuga paryantam aharyad brahmano viduhu ratri yuga sahasrantante ho ratri vido janaha. 1 day of Brahmadeva. That is called Kalpa. It lasts 1,000 cycle of 4 ages. That is called Mahayuga. What is Kalpa? What is Mahayuga? That we'll see. And his night also extends the same span of time. The wise who knows this understands the reality of what is day and what is night. The measurement of time in the cosmology of Vedas is very vast and staggering, unbelievable. For example, there are insects that are born in the night. They grow, procreate, lay eggs, grow old, and all this happens in one night only. In the morning, you see them all dead under the street lights on the street. If these insects are told that human beings live up to 100 years, they would ridicule it. 100 years? Impossible. They will say like that. On the other side of time scale, the Vedas state 1 and 1 night of celestial god, such as Indra, Varun, correspond to 1 year of the earth plane. So their 1 night and 1 day is equivalent to 1 year on the earth plane. By this calculation, 1 year of celestial gods consisting 30 days into 12 months is equal to 360 years on the earth, on the earth plane. And 12,000 years of celestial gods correspond to 1 Mahayuga. 1 Mahayuga is the cycle of 4 yugas. Which 4 yugas? Kali Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga and Satya Yuga. The time span of all these yugas we'll see. That is 4,320,000 earth years is equivalent to 1 Mahayuga. 1,000 of such Mahayugas comprise 1 day of Brahmadeva. 1,000 Mahayuga make 1 day of Brahmadeva. This is called Kalpa. And is the largest time of unit of time in the world. Equal to that is Brahmadeva's night also. By these calculations, Brahmadeva lives for 100 years. 1 day of 1,000 Chaturyuga, 1,000 Mahayuga, and 1 night also the same time span. And like that, Brahmadeva's life is 100 years. If you make all these calculations by earth calculations, that will come to 311 trillion and 40 billion years. That is Brahmadeva's life. 311 trillion and 40 billion years is Brahmadeva's lifespan. After that, even Brahmadeva perishes and merges in the God, who is imperishable. God is the only imperishable thing. Rest everything is perishable. Paramatma says, up to Brahmaloka, everything is perishable. Even Brahmadeva perishes. Of course, the time is too much. 311 trillion and 40 billion years. Thus, the Vedic calculation of time is as follows. What is the Vedic time of calculation? Kali Yuga, 430,000 years. Dwapar Yuga, 864,000 years. Treta Yuga, 1,296,000 years. And Satya Yuga, the longest of all, 1,720,000 years. Altogether, if you make a total, 1 Mahayuga will be 4,320,000 years. 1,000 Mahayuga comprise 1 day of Brahmadeva, which is Kalpa. So 4,320,000 multiplied by 1,000 earth years. And equal is Brahmadeva's night. Shri Krishna says, those who know this calendar of universe, they are the true knower of what is day and what is night. You may think day and night is 12 hours, 12 hours each, but those who know this universal calendar of universe, they know what is day and night. They realize how insignificant we are. In this universe, we are so insignificant. People are talking of 311 trillion years and 40 billion years of lifespan. Our lifespan is only 70, 80, 90 years, 100 years at the most. So compared to Brahmadeva's life, we are not even the moths of monsoon. The moths in the monsoon, they have at least a lifespan of 2 hours. Compared to Brahmadeva, our life is not even 2 hours, maybe even not even 2 seconds. And we take the entire duration of the universe is equal to Brahmadeva's lifespan of 100 years, which is 311 trillion and 40 billion years. After that, Brahmadeva will also go. Brahmadeva is also a soul who attained that position in his present life and is executing his duties for the God. He is also an appointed associate of the God. He is like a general manager of a company called Universe. And he will also say goodbye one day when another Brahmadeva will take over the charge from him. So Brahmadeva is also subject to life and death. But how lucky we are to get a promise from Shri Krishna that if we realize him, if we realize Shri Krishna and leave our body in his remembrance, we will get released from the cycle of birth and death forever and go to that abode of God, to the feet of Lord Krishna. Next shloka, 18th. Avyaktat vyaktaya sarvah prabhavantya haragame ratragame praliyante tatraiva vyakta sanjnake. At the advent of Brahmadeva's day, all living beings emanate from the unmanifest source. And at the fall of night of Brahmadeva, all embodied beings again merge into their unmanifested source. See, in the amazing cosmic play of the universe, the various worlds, that means the planes of existence, 7 above and 7 down, and their planetary system undergo repeated cycles of creation, preservation, and destruction. Utpatti, Sthiti, and Pralaya. At the end of Brahmadeva's day, corresponding to 4, whatever calculation we have done, 4,320,000 multiplied by 1,000 years, all planetary systems go up to Maharlok, or they get destroyed. This is called Naimittik Pralay, partial dissolution. In Śrīmad-Bhagavad, Shukadeva tells Parikshit, just as a child makes structures with the toys during the day and dismantles them before sleeping, similarly, Brahmadeva creates the planetary system and their life forms when he wakes up and dismantles them before he goes to sleep. As simple as that. At the end of lifespan of Brahmadeva, which is 100 years, which we saw 311 trillion and all that, the entire universe is dissolved. At this time, the entire material creation winds up. The Panchama Bhuta merge into Pancha Tanmatras. The Pancha Tanmatras merge into cosmic Ahankar. Ahankar merges into Mahan, and the Mahan merges into Prakriti. And Prakriti is the subtle form of material energy, Maya. Maya then also merges in the Lord Vishnu. This is called Prakrit Pralay or Mahapralay, the great dissolution. Again, when Lord Vishnu wishes to create, he glances at the material energy in the form of Prakriti. And by his mere glance, it begins unfolding. From Prakriti, Mahan is created. From Mahan, the cosmic Ahankar is created. From Ahankar, the Pancha Tanmatras get created. And then from Pancha Tanmatras, the Panchama Bhutas get created. In this way, the unlimited universes are again recreated. Modern day scientists estimate that there are 100 billion stars in our Milky Way. 100 billion stars in our Milky Way. Like Milky Way, our Milky Way, there are 1 billion galaxies. 1 billion galaxies in this universe. Thus, by estimate of our scientists, there are 10 raised to 20. How much it comes, you can calculate. So many stars are there in the universe. 10 raised to 20. So 19, today's last. Bhutagramasya evayam bhutva bhutva praliyate ratragame vashah partha prabhavatya haragame. Further, multitudes of being, Bhutagrama, the groups of living entities, Bhutagrama, multitudes of being repeatedly take birth. With the advent of Brahmadeva's day, and are reabsorbed on the arrival of the cosmic night, to manifest again automatically on the advent of the next cosmic day. When this world becomes manifest, we label that as creation of the world, and when it becomes unmanifest, we say that as apocalypse. But apocalypse is nothing but the gross becoming subtle and manifest becoming unmanifest. It is dissolution of gross elements back into their source from where they have come. And innumerable such creations and catalysm keep on occurring again and again. Again and again. After all, how many worlds are created in Brahma's one day, and how many worlds are destroyed in Brahmadeva's one night? It is simply inconceivable. Moreover, given the duration of Brahmadeva's day and night, he lives 100 years. I don't know which calculator can calculate what this will all amount to. How many worlds get created, how many get destroyed in Brahmadeva's lifespan of 100 years. The Vedas list 4 pralayas, 4 dissolutions. One is Nitya Pralay. Nitya Pralay is the daily dissolution of our consciousness that takes place when we go to the deep sleep. That is Nitya Pralay. Next Pralay is Naimitik Pralay. Vedas say next Pralay is Naimitik Pralay. This is the dissolution of all the abodes up to Maharloka at the end of Brahmadeva's day. At that time, the souls residing in these abodes, they become unmanifest. They reside in a state of suspended animation in the body of Lord Vishnu. Again, when Brahma recreates these lokas, they are given birth according to their past karmas. So karmas do not leave you. Even if the universe gets dissolved, karmas will not leave you. You will get birth according to your past karmas when the new universe gets created. Third is Mahapralay. This is the dissolution of entire universe at the end of Brahmadeva's life. At this time, all the souls in the universe go into a state of suspended animation in the body of Lord Vishnu again. Their gross, that means sthul, and subtle, that means sukshma bodies, sukshma sharir, and gross sharir, sthul sharir, they dissolve. But the Karan sharir, the causal body, it remains. When the next cycle of recreation takes place, they are again given birth according to their sanskars and their karmas, which are stored in the causal body, in the current sharir. The current sharir keeps a record of our past sanskars and our past karmas, and according to that causal body, you get whatever you need, you deserve. Fourth, last pralay is Atyantik Pralay. When the souls finally attains the God, it gets released from the cycle of birth and death forever. Atyantik Pralay is the dissolution of bodies, the bonds of Maya, which were binding the soul since eternity. So Maya also goes off. That is Atyantik Pralay. These are the 4 types of Pralay which are described in our Vedas. I think we should stop here. Now the forum is open for you to ask your questions. Thank you so much for your patience. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you so much, Bhaiya, for your divine words of wisdom. Indeed, it was an enlightening session of one of the important chapters of Bhagavad Gita. After this clear explanation of the power of thought, it is so obvious that we are a product of our thoughts. We sculpt our own future by guiding our thoughts towards our goal. How pranayam helps to balance our thoughts and leads us to the goal has been wonderfully explained. It is through the Ananya Bhakti that the mind becomes calm and free from worldly desires, and thoughts become purified and are diverted towards God. It is indeed a great learning today, and we are all here, fortunate to be here this evening. Thank you so much once again for this wonderful Bhaktimay session. So before we start our next question and answer session, let me just remind all of you that tomorrow the new L1 batch is going to start, and if anybody is still interested in joining, today will be the last day to register. Please inform your dear ones to just register themselves. And also kindly share the links of these Vivechan sessions for the next week, whenever you get it in your groups, to all your friends so that they can join these sessions. So now let us start our next session, that is the question and answers. Now, dear sadhaks, let us all interact with our speaker of the day and clear all our doubts. Now I request Vikas ji Bhaiya to help us clear all our doubts. Request all of you to come forward with your queries. So now we have just 1 second. First I can see Muralidas ji, Muralidas Bhaiya. Please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Jai Shri Krishna Bhaiya.
Jai Shri Krishna. Boliye.
Bhaiya, you said that the life going out through the chakra in the middle of the eye is the best, right? But they say that going out through the head chakra, that is the best form. That's what they say, right?
Yes.
So which one? I don't know whether it'll go my life how it'll go, but which one is the truth?
The truth is, as I told you, that point Agya Chakra, we call it Bhrur Madhya, but this Bhrur Madhya is not exactly this point. It is when you draw a line from the top of skull and then one line from Bhrur Madhya to the back of your head, where they intersect. That point is at Agya Chakra. And there, that Sushumna Nadi goes and meets. So the Sushumna Nadi, which is in the center of your spine, that goes up to that point. And when you do pranayam, you raise your prana to that point through Sushumna Nadi. And when you are in a habit of daily taking the prana to that level, at the end of life, when the death moment comes, yogis, they take it further up and they release the prana from the Brahmarandra. I have seen a yogi in Pune who had a tumor on the top of his head. People used to think he has tumor or what. But he used to open his Brahmarandra in his yogic practice almost every day. So these people are in the habit of opening that Brahmarandra so that they can open it at the last moment of their life. When the death comes, they know when the death is going to strike them. So they are in the habit of opening that Brahmarandra. So through pranayam, they will take the prana up to that Agya Chakra, Bhrur Madhya, and then when the prana is leaving, they will not leave it through eyes or through nose or through ears or any other holes of the body. They will leave the prana through the Brahmarandra.
Wow. Okay, Bhaiya.
That is the place, if you leave the prana through Brahmarandra, you attain God. And while that, you are chanting mentally Om. Om and prana is going through Brahmarandra is the golden rule. Paramatma is given in this adhyay. If you can achieve that, but for that you need, of course, a lot of practice.
Bhaiya, another thing you said is all the souls will become part of Vishnu, right? But does it become part of Krishna or Vishnu, or does it matter? Does it matter?
See, you may call it Vishnu, you can call it Ram, you can call it Krishna, you can call it Shiva. It is up to you. It is Paramatma, one superpower. You can look that superpower in your Ishta Devata, your preferred deity. You can consider that deity as the supreme power. Whether you are a Lord Ganesha Bhakta, you can say Ganesha is all.
Yeah, but then we also say devatas have limited life, right?
Demigods have limited life, yes.
Or demigods. So, okay, yeah, Ganesha is not demigod. That's true. Okay.
Like we discussed about Indra, Indra also has a limited life, no? Even Brahmadeva has a limited life, so you can imagine.
Right.
So
does Ganesha have limited life or no?
if you consider Ganesha as a demigod, he will have a limited life. But if you consider Ganesha as a supreme lord, then he will not be having limited life. So it depends on how you look at the god of your choice. Ishta Devata, your preferred deity. If your preferred deity is Paramatma, then definitely it doesn't have any limitation on the life. Then it is eternal.
So basically, we are looking at Ishta Devata as Krishna, becomes Krishna.
See, we are all the followers of Bhagavad-Gītā. So for us, our Ishta Devata is Krishna. Or Vishnu, you can say. We can study Vishnu Sahasranam. We are studying Bhagavad-Gītā also. Krishna is a manifestation of Lord Vishnu only.
Okay, Bhaiya. Thank you. Thank you.
Next, K.R.M. Rao Bhaiya. Please unmute yourself, Bhaiya. K.R.M. Rao ji.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Yeah.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Earlier you told here, now Bhuvor Madhya here, but actually our yogi, heartfulness yogis, they're telling we have to practice in a heart. Avyaktam. We have to go to Avyaktam. That is our ultimate goal. I mean, it's a daily practice. Even Brahmakapalam also, we should avoid, and finally we should go to Avyaktam only. That is our recent Guru heartfulness Davi is telling.
Yeah, but if we see word to word meaning of Bhruva or Madhya, Bhruva is our these eyebrows in the center of it. Madhya.
Yeah, understood. Ajna
That
Chakra.
is the point. So even Lord Krishna
But whenever I'm
Yogeshwar is telling us
practicing,
to
हमको थोड़ा सा डर लग जाता था. I'm practicing only chanting some mantras of Lalita Sahasranam. I mean, sometimes Vishnu Sahasranam ka. But I think we should not do like that. I think somebody told. I'm asking you.
No, only you have to learn it from a expert yogi.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
cannot-
But yogi
you
only
cannot-
we are doing it. But he is not telling any. We should not chant mantra and all.
Mantra is only Om, no other mantra.
Mantra is only Om.
Om
Thank
also
you.
is chanted mentally only, not loudly.
Okay,
Because
thank you.
door, Sarvadvarani Sayame, all doors have been closed. So you cannot
Okay.
open your mouth also.
Okay, thank you.
Next.
Is the question?
Okay. Next we have Śrīmad-Narayana here. Monday Śrīmad-Narayana Bhai. Kindly unmute yourself. Yeah.
Okay, madam. Thank you, Didi. Guruji, I want to know, you have told the Mahalaya or Mahapralaya will be there
Yes.
at the end of the Kali Yuga. Okay. After the end of this Kali Yuga, the Mahalaya will be there, and again that cycle will be there. The Sachi Yuga and all this will start. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, in this Kali Yuga, many of the souls are polluted. Many
Yes.
of the souls are polluted. Okay,
Yes.
Kali Yuga. That is the Kali Yuga. That is the reason. Okay.
Yes.
After that, all the souls will be hanging with the Mahavishnu in suspension animation.
Right.
What you have told. So
Yes.
then, in Satyuga, how this polluted, suspended animation souls will be get purified, and they will become good people in the Satyuga.
See, according to their, as I said, according to their causal body, which is having a record of their past samskars and karmas, they are given the yoni in Satya Yuga also. In Satya Yuga, not that all yonis are only of purified people, but a chance is given in Satya Yuga to raise themselves up and up. So Satya Yuga is one of, so they are given a chance, a better chance in Satya Yuga. Kali Yuga, of course, you can get a chance, but the chance of purifying yourself is topmost in Satya Yuga. So they are given a chance in Satya Yuga, which is 1,728,000 years long. So, and as we know, human beings' life is not that long. So with repeated lives and birth in that Satya Yuga, people can go on progressively purifying them. Because the effect of that Satya Yuga is such that living beings are tempted to purify themselves.
Okay. The chances of getting purification is more.
Are much more in Satya Yuga. Because it has the
Very
support of all. It has the support of devotion.
devotions. Okay.
It has the support of Satya, truth.
Okay.
So when it is the support of all, definitely all the souls which are born in Satya Yuga, with every subsequent birth, they get more and more purified.
Okay. Excellently explained this Ashtanga Yoga and Kundalini, Shat Chakras, and all this one. Really, I am very happy to hear you from your.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next we have Pratap Lal Bhaiya. Please unmute yourself, Bhaiya. Yeah. No, it's not heard. Yes.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
My question is from chapter 9, specifically Shloka 32, where it's second line, Striyo Vaishyasta Shudra. So in at least superficially, it appears that they're calling the birth of females as sinful. So that's 50% of the population of the world. So there must be a deeper meaning to it, which I don't understand. Because on the surface, it appears that half of the population of the world is sinful birth.
See, the shloka reads like this. Mami partha bepashrit yepisya papayo neyaha striyo vaishya sada shudras tepi anti parangatim. So
Yes.
it has been specifically mentioned about Striya, Vaishya and Shudra. Because there are times in our mythology also wherein it was said during those societies that only Brahmins are allowed to perform the devotional service to the god. Shudras, Vaishyas and ladies are not. Paramatma is making it abundantly clear that this is absolutely rubbish. Striya, ladies, Vaishya and Shudra are equally competent. They also can attain Paramgati, Yanti Paramgatim. They also can attain Paramgati. It is not that it is only a birthright of only Brahmins or Kshatriyas to attain Paramatma. Striyo, Vaishya, Sada, Shudra, they also can attain Paramgati.
So the reference to sinful birth is doesn't mean that the birth is sinful. It's just referring to that misconception that
It does not mean that Paramatma is making some treatment to ladies and Shudras and Vaishyas and inferior people. Not that. In fact, he is putting them on the higher pedestal, saying that even if society says in those days probably that ladies and Vaishya and Shudras are little bit lower, they can perform only the seva to the society and ladies can take care of only their homes. It is not so. Striya, Vaishya and Shudra, they also yanti. Yanti is to attain. They also can attain Paramgati. So everyone is having that capability to attain Paramgati. Nobody has the exclusive right of attaining Paramgati. Brahmins only? No. They don't have only the birthright to attain Paramgati. Even Shudra, Vaishya, ladies, everybody is most welcome to attain that Paramgati. So this is a better shloka to clarify from Lord Krishna himself that ladies, Vaishya and Shudra are also most welcome to have this devotional sadhana, reading of Bhagavad Gita or chanting of Bhagavad Gita shloks, doing contemplation, manan, chintan, bring it to their life and attain Paramgati. Everybody can attain Paramgati. Brahman, Vaishya, Shudra, ladies, gents, everybody. So this is because there is a misnomer in the society that ladies are not allowed to perform some particular pujas mentioned in Vedas, or Vaishyas are not allowed to perform puja. There are some beliefs in North India, some villages. There is still some belief that they are not allowed to enter the temple. Now this shloka is a slap in the face of those people who somehow discard Shudra and Vaishya, saying that they have no right to enter the temple. Paramatma says they can attend Paramgati, they can come to me. So who are you to stop them? They are also allowed to come to me. I allowed them to do sadhana, spiritual sadhana, and they are equally most welcome to attain me. They also attain Paramgati, Yanti Paramgatim. It is not birthright of only a selected few to offer devotional service to Lord and attain Him. Everybody can attain Paramatma, including Striya, Vaishya and Shudra.
So that means even historically, even before Dwapar Yuga, there were beliefs like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There were beliefs.
So on a parallel track, I guess in Ramayana, Tulsidas Ramayana, it says Dhol Gawar Shudra Nari, ye sab taran ke adhikari. That was Treta Yuga. So does that also have any deeper meaning that we don't understand superficially?
I cannot comment on Tulsi Ramayana at the moment, but this particular shloka, what you are referring from Geeta, 9th Adhyay, definitely is in the support of ladies and Shudras and Vaishyas, not against them.
Yes, I guess it makes sense now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Sri Bhaiya, please unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself. Yes. I think
I don't hear anything.
he's not ready.
Hmm.
Can I? Okay. Okay. Satyanarayan Bhaiya, please mute yourself and ask your question.
No. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
In 14th Adhyaya, 14th sloka, yes, only it says, only we have to think of Krishna, not other than Krishna or other demigods. But invariably, in our life, we will be doing puja for demigods other than Krishna, Lakshmi, Parvati, Saraswati, and all. Is it a mistake we do all that?
No, it's not a mistake. It is clarified by Bhagavad Shri Krishna in Gita also, that you can perform your puja to any demigod of your choice, who are fulfilling your kamanas, who are giving you what you want in your material life. You can perform your puja, you can offer your devotional service to them because they are fulfilling your desires. But please understand, Krishna has said in Gita that whatever they give it to you, I give it to them, and then they give it to you. So it is like a company wherein the CEO has the topmost authority, and then below him general manager, and then manager, and all that. So a manager may give promotion to his deputy. So the deputy may think, oh, my manager has given me this promotion. But actually it is approved by CEO or the general manager. So Krishna says, okay, you please, you can remain under the impression that you have been given promotion by your manager, but ultimately I am the CEO. I grant them. Okay. So this is the way the Srishti Chakra functions. And your second question, if you worship other demigods and not Krishna or Paramatma for that matter, is it wrong? It is not wrong. But what we do, the mistake that we do is, we consider ourselves as different, our demigod, our Ishta Devta, our preferred deity as different, and then Paramatma is some third identity, third entity. So we are trying to come from Dvaitavad to Advaitavad. That means me and Paramatma are two. We want to remove that misinterpretation and we want to come to Advaitavad, that me and Paramatma is one. But when we are creating third entity, then we are not following Paramatma's rule. If we have become one with Paramatma and instead of becoming one, we are making three. So this is not correct, no? If you see Paramatma in your preferred deity, if you consider, if you are a Ganesh Bhakta, and if you say that Ganesha is Paramatma, other than that, I don't know any other God, perfectly all right. If you are a devotee of a particular Swamiji or particular Maharaj, and if you say that he is my Guru and he is Paramatma for me, full stop. I don't know Vishnu, I don't know Krishna, I don't know Shiva, I don't know anything. Guru is Guru and he is my Paramatma. Perfectly all right. Perfectly welcome. The firm belief you should have in that entity should be such that he is the ultimate. And whatever devotional service you offer it to him should be exclusively for him. Some mind is going here, some mind is going there. Everybody wants to satisfy all the demigods. Everybody wants to satisfy everybody. So Paramatma is Ananyacheta. You fix up your mind at one place. Don't keep wandering here and there. So that should be Ananyacheta. No Anya. No other thing. So that is Ananyacheta.
It's very difficult to think of like that. And one more thing I like to know. You said only we have to, at the last time we have to think of Om. But always in Vishnu Sahasranama or Bhagavad Gita, when we are reading Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu Sahasranama, no place we say Om. Always Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu Sahasranama, when we will be chanting, there's no Om at all. In any of the names. Then,
no, Vishnu starts with the Om only. Om Vishwam Vishnu Shatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. So Om comes in the beginning of Vishnu Sahasranam. Om is the first level that comes.
But if only in the start we will start. But afterwards, in 1,000 names, it will not come.
Yeah, but the first name itself is Om, na? Why it will come again and again? When it has come in the beginning itself, Om. Om Vishwam Vishnu Shatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. Bhuta Krut Bhuta Bhradbhavo Bhutatma Bhuta Bhavana. This is the first sloka.
Yes.
So when Om is starting with the Vishnu Sahasranam, there is no need for Om to appear again and again in the further shlokas of Vishnu
But
Sahasranam.
for example, when we are going to die, in our last time, we have to remember Vishnu or Krishna or Om.
Om.
It is very difficult to know unless we
You see,
always we think of Om.
Om is Aksharam Brahma. Om is a Parabrahma. Om is a Parabrahma. So if you remember Om, you remember all. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, Ma. Om is the first syllable uttered by Paramatma himself. As I said, his Anahat Nad is that Om. So Om is the ultimate. And you have to chant Om mentally only. People may say that at the time of death, people are in half conscious mind. Their bodies are not moving. So how they can sit and take posture and all that? Forget about saying Om and all that. Their mind may not be alert also. But our subconscious mind is always alert till the last moment. So what are the postures we discussed, that put your left heel here and right heel there and all sorts of things, you have to do it those also mentally. Physically, you may not be in a position to do it at the last moment of death. Half of the people, when they die, they are physically incapable. So this, whatever we are learning now, if we practice it day in and day out for years, we can take this mental posture at the time of death. Even that is good enough. Because physical posture, taking this is not possible. So you take this mental posture, you will remember what you have done throughout the life. And then mentally you can say Om. So all things what are basically appearing in your mind, they start affecting your body also. Mind controls the body. If mentally you can think of these particular positions and you can mentally say Om, it is good enough. Imagine that your breath is coming from the Sushumna Nadi to the top of Agni Chakra to the 10th door, and when the last moment comes, you say mentally Om, and the life is going out from the 10th door, the Brahmarandra. That is the ultimate objective of our human life. That when I leave my prana, the prana should go from here and not from my eyes or from other holes of body disposal waste. Ordinary people, they leave their prana through those holes. Yogis, they leave their prana from this Brahmarandra. Jai Shri Krishna.
With this, we come to the end of today's question and answer session. And thank you once again, Bhaiya, for that beautiful session and the question and answer part also. Very well answered, and it was very beneficial to all of us. Now, I think Umarani Didika, do you want to ask any question? Ajay Gupta ji also raised hand. Okay, Ajay Gupta ji is the prayer. Okay, now we'll proceed with the next part. Now it's time to offer our sincere prayers at the lotus feet of Paramatma. So I invite Shri Ajay Gupta ji from Meerut, UP. Bhaiya is a graduate and is professionally into teaching, associated with Geeta Pariwar since 2022. Bhaiya is a trainer and mentor in L4. Request you to please start the prayer, Bhaiya.
Yes, Didi. योगेशं सच्चिदानन्दं वासुदेवं व्रजप्रियं धर्मसंस्थापकं वीरं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं. Jai Shri Krishna to all.
Thank you very much for that wonderful prarthana. So it has been such an honor to be a part of this wonderful session today. On behalf of Geeta Pariwar, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our host Srinivas ji, who handled today's session throughout, and all others involved from the technical team and the whole of the backend team in making this session a memorable one to all of us. Sincere thanks to Suresh Vyas ji and Ajay Gupta ji for their melodious prayers, and Shantala Didi for the beautiful Deep Prajwalan. And a wide round of applause and thanks to all our Geeta Sadhaks for attending this session and making it a great success. Thank you one and all. And before we end today's session, request you all to join in the group chanting of Hanuman Chalisa.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी बरन रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिंहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोज सगावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर पल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग प्रताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरई हनुमत बल बीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय.
With this, we conclude today's session. See you all in another enlightening session.